It's Tuesday. That means the Apex Energy Cup Series racing from the Slingshot Racing League. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the booth by Chris Smith. Tonight, we are bringing you live racing action in the ARCA cars from Charlotte Motor Speedway in Concord, North Carolina for the UD Awards Keith Bouchard Memorial 200. NASCAR's been racing at this track since it was built in the early 1960s. Once rock and boulder laden, the hilly 550 acres that belonged to North Carolina's first elected governor, Nathaniel Alexander, also hosted George Washington nearly 250 years ago, and we're just one day after President's Day. The track was designed and constructed by the dynamic pair of Bruton Smith and Curtis Turner. Turner, a famed moonshiner of the day, had speed and handling in mind when he designed this 1.5 mile intermediate track whose corners are banked 24 degrees each. Even more, the pair intended it to be a test of endurance for drivers and machine alike, hosting the first 600-mile race for stock cars. Even decades later, it's been no stranger to innovation. It held the first NASCAR night race in 1992, and in 2011, it set a Guinness World Record with the debut of the world's largest HD TV at a sports venue spanning nearly 16,000 square feet. Chris, this was a track that almost never was. After opening in 1960, owners discovered massive amounts of granite needed to be removed, which turns out was a really expensive process. As a result, they ran out of money less than a year later and declared bankruptcy. Fortunately, however, for us, track owners were able to quickly work to raise the capital money needed to keep the speedway afloat and make it into what it has become today. What are these drivers going to have to do in order to make sure they don't go bankrupt on the track tonight and make it to the finish up front?
Well, this is America's first 1.5 mile speedway. Bruton Smith had a vision for this track. He had a vision for it when he put lights around here, and so we are going to see a day-to-night transition tonight like drivers experienced during the Coca-Cola 600 in real life. And these drivers are going to have to manage that. They're going to have to, sort of adapt to the changes that come about because of the track change. This track is going to go from being very, very hot and slick like it was in practice. Right now, as the drivers are qualifying, it is very, very, it's very shaded on one end and very sunny on the other. So tonight we've got 133 laps around this 1.5 miles. 3 sets of tires, including the one that they're starting out with, and 60 laps roughly on a tank of fuel. Should make for a very interesting and exciting race tonight.
Absolutely, and we'll talk about some stories to follow during the race here shortly, but first we're going to do our weekly tradition of playing the national anthem. All right, we are back at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Slingshot Racing Keith Bouchard Memorial 200 for the Apex Energy Cup Series. We've got about a minute and a half left in qualifying, Chris, and this is a great opportunity for us to talk about some storylines for our viewers to follow throughout this 133-lap race tonight. First of all, as we already mentioned, this is a crown jewel race, and that's part of a 4-race program that we have in the Cup Series where we have $25 going to the winner of that race. So it adds just a little bit of incentive for these guys to get after it early tonight. And does that really change the way you drive in terms of your mentality if you're racing for $25?
Oh yeah, definitely. But everybody's a little bit different in how they're going to attack tonight. You might see some people that are very eager to just think about the bigger picture. Somebody like Aaron Smith. Aaron might be thinking, "Hey, I'm here to win the war and not the battle tonight." Other people maybe who haven't been here every single week, maybe they're thinking, "Hey, this is my chance. This is my opportunity to try to make something happen tonight." So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how people decide to attack this race. And I always think with a little bit of extra money on the line, it makes me sort of stand up on the wheel a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of standing on the wheel, tires are going to be precious tonight. They've got 3 total sets. They'll be starting on their first set, and they'll have 2 changes. Drivers are really going to need to take it easy on these tires. We're going to see some cooler temps since this is a night race. That's definitely going to mean that drivers are going to have more grip, but is that going to impact how these tires wear?
Yeah, probably so. You probably won't see as high a tire wear as what you saw in practice. Obviously, we've also got some carryover from the practice session too, so the track is rubbered in a little bit. So we'll just have to see how all that plays out.
Absolutely. And we're going to also be looking at pit stops throughout the night. We set a fuel windows of 60 laps. That means drivers can, in theory, really get close to making it on a single stop, but they're going to have to really choose when they're going to make that second stop and if it's going to be for just a splash of fuel or whether or not they're going to take tires. And obviously, cautions will dictate that strategy as well. And the last thing we're going to be keeping an eye on tonight is high or low. Which line are drivers going to run as the night goes on? We'll be on a lookout to see, which line these guys go with. Chris, just initial kind of gut reactions. Where are these drivers going to be spending most of their time, up top or on the bottom?
I suspect that right here at the beginning of the race, you're probably going to see a smorgasbord of people going in different directions. But as the race goes on, I think it's going to become very, very obvious that the bottom lane is going to be the way to go.
All right. So with that, we are going to get to the grid. These drivers have finished qualifying. And no surprise that Aaron Smith is on the pole. And partly the reason I say no surprise is because Scott Sobczak, the guy who's won all 4 poles for the first 4 races of the season, is not here tonight due to a power failure at his home. So Aaron Smith is going to be starting on the pole. Right alongside him, we'll see the 30 of Justin Gann. Starting in the second row and third, we see Johnny Rapp on the inside, and then Patrick Colby on the outside of row 2. Starting 5th, Bailey Dutton making another appearance tonight with Chris Pierce to his outside. In 7th starting position, Chase Berry. This is a really good start for Chase tonight. Usually we see him lay back, but tonight going to be a little bit different. Tony Hilbrand's 8th, Andrew McGonigal 9th, and Evan Pienta 10th. Rye Jones starting on the inside of that 6th row with Brady Powers to his outside. The 14 Sonic the Hedgehog car of Lee Campbell going to see if he can rush his way up through the field tonight and collect some coins while doing it. Austin Greer starting 14th on his outside. Rhett Tucker, Randy Bechtel, Chris Blassie, Eric McMillan, and Monty Sprague are going to finish out the field through 19th tonight. And these drivers are going to make 2 pace laps tonight, Chris, because as we mentioned in the opener, Slingshot this week lost one of our drivers, Keith Bouchard. Keith, we hadn't known for that long within Slingshot. He was a newcomer to our truck series, but he was a staple driver with Payday Racing and friends with many of our drivers in this league. His teammates told us that he was a great teammate, but Keith was an even better friend. We're thinking about Keith and his family tonight. And several drivers are running decals on their cars tonight to honor him, as are we with this race. So we're going to take just a moment to ride around with some of these cars for this lap for kind of a silent tribute memorial for Keith. right. So these drivers are making their way down the backstretch now at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We are getting ready to come to the green flag. Just a reminder, we are running 133 laps tonight, 3 sets of tires, and we believe the fuel window is around 60 laps. Aaron Smith and Justin Gann going to lead them down, and you can see that 2 stops are expected tonight and high tire degradation, something we're going to be on the lookout for, as is the usual with Slingshot Racing. We're going to be looking at that tire wear and who can manage that the best as this race goes on. All right, pace car peels off. Smith is going to lead him down to the line, and we are green at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So far, the field is clean. Smith gets just a little bit of distance on Patrick Colby, and we might have seen Justin Gann take an EOL there at the start of the race. Not sure what happened to that 30 car, but right now, 2 leaders are single file, and right behind them we've got Rapp and Dutton battling for the 3rd position, with Dutton taking the inside under Rapp, slipping back to 4th. Tony Hilbrans, who's been a front runner all season, is in 5th, and behind Tony we got Chris Pierce in the 25, and Evan Pienta picks up 3 spots on the start of this race. So we're going to be watching Evan in that 55 car, already up to 6th place, it looks like, going underneath Chris Pierce, who's slipping back just a little bit early. And right now we've got a battle for the lead with Patrick Colby going hard underneath Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith's also going to lose 2nd position to Bailey Dutton. Some racing going off up front, Chris. We've got some guys who are choosing to run that outside and getting up that inside line. I would say, do you think that has anything to do with conserving tires? But from what we've seen, running the outside line can eat those tires up just a little bit more.
It can, but also I think there's something to be said for, it's very early in the race. You don't want to be in traffic very much, so maybe you want to try to get out there to the front when everybody's close together, as Bailey Dutton is going to make a pass for the lead.
Absolutely. B-Boys are going after it hard tonight. Patrick Colby, we've seen really have some good initial starts to the races, but what we've noticed is Patrick drives those tires off a little bit early, so we'll be keeping an eye on him as well as Bailey Dutton to see how these guys fare early on, with Aaron Smith already falling back to 5th place. And I have to believe, my gut's telling me that it has a little bit to do probably with Aaron managing tires, which he did.
He got the wall here.
Well.
He got the wall here. Yeah, he got the wall here off of turn 4. Just barely tagged it. Has scuffed up the right side. Don't know how much that's going to hurt him. Hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, he got it off of turn 4.
That's easy to do at Charlotte off of turn 4. So that'll be something we're keeping an eye on all night long. Not just the reigning champion in that one car, but if he does it, man, everyone's probably vulnerable to the same mistake, as these guys really 1st through 8th or so file out single file right now. I'm looking through the rest of the pack. We've got an action-packed battle going on back in 14th and 15th with some of these payday drivers and Rhett Tucker Racing guys, with Rye Jones running in the 13th position, getting by Andrew McGonigal and Randy Bechtel, as well as Eric McMillan. So some side-by-side battles going down here, as well as they head into onto the backstretch now.
Yeah, and if you're looking at Rye Jones in the number 7 right here, your eyes do not deceive you. Rye Jones is in the 7. Evan Pienta's in the 00. One of your race league admins, I'm not going to say who it was. It was me. Forgot to change their numbers, so from their truck numbers. So that's on me. We had a little bit of craziness going on earlier. So, yeah, Rye Jones is in the number 7, but it shows up 91 on the ticker. Sorry to those guys for that.
All right, so right now, this is a pretty clean single-file race. We are on lap 7 of 133, and I do see Rhett Tucker making a pass for the 11th position on Chase Berry, making that pass on the inside. Berry's going to be able to slip back down. We've also got this battle going on between the 00 and the, sorry, just looking, number 9 as well. So we've got some battles going on around the track right now. But
yeah,
up at the front. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, Patrick Colby was up there in the lead earlier, with his teammate Aaron Smith, but those guys, they've kind of slid back here, and I think it might be by design. I think that they might be trying to just pace themselves tonight. This is a long race.
It is a long race, and that is an interesting thing to mention. I want to talk about this for a second because if we're looking right now, let's just go through the top 4 cars. Bailey Dutton, who's in the lead right now, started in 5th position, so he's picked up 5 positions. Tony Hilbrun's started back in 8th, and he's now in 2nd. Johnny Rapp did start in 3rd. He's maintained his position, but Evan Pienta right now, the biggest mover of the night, is up 6 positions. So I have to believe these guys are going hard as we look at this battle up front right now. For the lead going on between Tony Hilbrun's and Bailey Dutton. Hilbrun's in that 92 is getting ready to make a pass for lead. He ducks his nose underneath the 26 of Bailey Dutton, but it's not enough. He's going to have to wait, but that's going to open him up for a pass from Johnny Rapp, who's going to march into the 2nd position. He's one of these payday drivers that we mentioned, and something I do want to kind of mention is I noticed a lot of these payday guys who normally are content to start out back are racing up front and qualifying up front tonight. They're going hard early. I think they're hungry for a win. These guys were teammates with Keith, and they would really like to get that win in his honor tonight as Johnny Rapp continues to make inroads on the leader, Bailey Dutton. Johnny is getting after it tonight, and Johnny's one of those guys, like I said, we usually see him conserving tires and taking it easy, but he's a man on a mission tonight to see if he can convert those 2 truck wins earlier in the truck season into a cup win tonight as we ride on board with that 52 Mission Barbecue Dodge.
Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing all the way around the track right here, different than in qualifying, different than in practice, the whole track is in shade now. The track is starting to, it probably feels very different now than it did earlier. Whatever your car, whatever you felt like your car was doing, probably feels like it's got a lot more grip now on both ends, and I think that you're going to see possibly a little bit different race as the night goes on than what we were seeing during practice earlier today.
I think you're absolutely right. A lot of grip. That's going to be got a lot really good for a lot of guys out there that won't be struggling with that grip at least early on when the tires are still fresh. We do have a Lee Campbell fan in the chat, so hi to Maddox19. It says go Lee Campbell in that 14 Sonic the Hedgehog car. So he's having a good run right now. He is, I imagine, probably saving those tires, running in 19th position, just taking it easy out there right now. But up front,
lots of coins on the line tonight.
Hey, lots of Sonic coins on the line tonight. Up front, we've got a battle that is continuing to stay hot between the 26 of Bailey Dutton and Johnny Rapp. Johnny going to see if he can take that high line, that long way around the track, and he's going to definitely have the momentum for turn 4 to make that pass.
Yeah, and, I think the top here compared to other mile and a halves, I think it's actually really good. It's not like Kansas, running the top there, but it's it's a pretty good top lane. This track is also, compared to the other mile and a halves, it's very narrow. It's a lot more narrow than somewhere like, Texas or Kansas, like we mentioned before, or Chicagoland. This track is a lot more narrow than those, and so you really feel that in the corners. And what we're seeing right here is we're seeing Johnny Rapp. I wonder how hard Johnny's pushing right now. If he's pushing pretty hard, he might just decide that he's going to go up here and he's going to try to lead as much as he can tonight.
I think, like I said, we're seeing a kind of a different Johnny Rapp in this race than we're used to seeing. So we'll see if that continues. Right now, we are on lap 16 of 133, and we've talked about earlier in the race broadcast, these guys are looking right around the fuel window, somewhere around 60 laps. So we'll see right now. We're about a quarter of the way. I'm no math teacher, but I think we're about a quarter of the way into this run, and we're probably going to start to see tires falling off here just within a couple laps. And I think that's the point we're going to want to keep an eye on this number 1 car. We're often talking about guys saving their tires. Right now I'm looking at speeds and lap times. Last time around, Aaron ran a 31.6, and the leaders are in the 31.7, so he's running a little bit faster right now. But I'm curious, once we start getting into these 32-second lap times for the leaders, if Aaron's just going to start chewing them up because he saved his tires a little bit better than those guys in front as he sits in 7th. place. But right now, that battle for the lead is still as hot as it's ever been between Johnny Rapp, Bailey Dutton, and Tony Hilbrun's. Evan Pienta, the car in fourth place, is about 2 seconds back from that action. But right now, you might not know the difference between what you're seeing up front at Charlotte and what we saw in real life in the NASCAR Cup Series at Daytona just 2 days ago. These guys are bumper to bumper as Bailey Dutton harasses the back of that 52 car of Johnny Rapp as we look at that onboard shot. Does not get any closer than that. Dutton's going to go to the outside, and he's going to see if he can pull the same move that Johnny Rapp pulled on him about 5 laps ago. And you can see that run the 26 car gets off the corner. He's going to channel that into a move to the inside into turn 3. Dutton is your new leader, but hold on. Johnny Rapp's going to gain that momentum as Dutton has to get on that brake a little bit so as to not slide up into the wall off of 4, as we've seen Aaron Smith do earlier in the race. And it's side by side going down into 1. Tony Hilbrun's going to see if he can take advantage of that hole that's opened up underneath Rapp. And I think Rapp, look, I think Rapp knew what was going on there, and Johnny's going to let these guys by. He's not going to use his tires up. I think the Johnny Rapp that we thought we were seeing for maybe a minute, is having second thoughts. But up front, look at this battle for the lead as they cross the line on the lap 21, the 26 and the 92. Dutton and Hilbrun's trade blows with Hilbrun's going to the lead. Dutton's going to see if he can do anything about that.
Yeah, I was going to mention earlier
over here.
Yeah, Aaron Smith is probably the. Oh, they get really close there on entry to turn 3. I need to be paying attention to this a little bit closer.
Look at that. Both, you see the 26, man, Tony about got in the wall there. 26 not giving Tony and the Hilbrun's in that 92 car much room. Let's see what he does here if he runs that same kind of middle groove. Now, the 26 is going to go back down. But what I'm starting to notice, Chris, and it shouldn't surprise either one of us, or if you're watching, that 26 car is starting to push.
Yeah.
After starting in 5th, Bailey Dutton is losing the grip in those tires, and he's got a lot of understeer going on right now.
Yeah, earlier, when Johnny had taken the lead, I really liked what I saw out of Tony's car. It kind of looked like he was just back there, just sort of riding, biding his time, not really trying to get up in there, taking a really, really tidy line through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 as well. And he's a little bit up right here, but I like what I've seen out of his car here these last few laps. Bailey might be sitting there cooling his jets just a little bit, trying to cool that right front off. Whenever you have a slide like that, you really, really got to look after that right front and try not to abuse it anymore, get it any hotter than what it was. As they come by the line right here, we'll take a look at speeds at the line here to see how everybody sort of stacks up. And I mentioned before how you want to be the last one in a bracket. Well, we're already into the 32 seconds. It didn't take long at all. All right, we were talking about it just a second ago. And it looks like the guy with the best lap time that time was Aaron Smith in 7th place, a 32.0, the last guy in the 32.0 bracket. So we'll see how that sort of shakes out here as the run progresses.
Yeah, and what you mentioned about Bailey Dutton charging a little bit, cooling his jets, and then maybe making another run at it. He's doing it here. He's not letting Hilbrun's in that 92 get far away.
No.
They've got about 2/10 between them, and then Johnny Rapp's got about another 10th and a half or 2/10 space between him and second place of Bailey Dutton. One interesting battle that I'm looking at on the track right now, if we go back to 4th place, Evan Pienta in that 00 is the 4th place car. He's got a chain of about 3 cars behind him, a Chris Pierce in the 25, Patrick Colby, who at one point was leading the race in 6th in the number 9 car, and Aaron Smith, that guy we just talked about, who's running the fastest laps on the track right now in lap 26. How much of this do you think is caused by Evan and that 00 holding these guys up, or do you think this is just 4 guys who are just really looking to stay tucked up with each other, not cause any issues, and just continue to save those tires?
Yeah, I don't know that Evan's really holding anybody up right here. I think that, the separation that he got, that everybody got on that initial start, it just kind of lent itself to this sort of gap that you have between 3rd and 4th. And you don't see Evan charging up there to try to make up all that ground right away, which I think is probably a good thing, a good idea. Sort of like let this race, build up. And, I don't think he's really holding these guys up yet. once we start to see the tires begin to wear even more, I think that's when you'll start to see some moves taking place. We're about at that halfway point of the run right now. We're approaching it, and I think this might be the time where you start to see some moves begin to get made.
Yeah, and you can see it going on right now in this pack that we're looking at. We see Chris Pierce pull up alongside the 00 to take over that 4th spot. Chris Pierce having a good run, that Pierce graphics car tonight. Just one fact about Chris Pierce, he's designed all the overlays you see on top of the screen tonight, including the one that we just put up on the board with his info on it. So check out Pierce Graphics on Instagram if you get a chance. If you're in the market for any graphic design work or overlays for your iRacing League broadcast. So right now at the top of the field, we are led by Tony Hilbrins in the 92, a little through the field here on lap 29. Bailey Dutton in that 26 GoDaddy car second. Johnny Rapp in the Mission Barbecue Dodge in 3rd place. Chris Pierce, as we mentioned, in 4th. Evan Pienta 5th. Patrick Colby 6th. Aaron Smith in 7th. Brady Powers in 8th. Austin Greer in 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Rye Jones. I want to see maybe, we're halfway through a run here. I want to see maybe if we can do a quick check-in with a driver. Let's see who we've got that we have quick access to here. Chris, I'll give you the choice. Are you more interested in hearing from Rye Jones or Johnny Rapp?
Let's see if we can hear from Rye Jones. He's got that Keith Bouchard Dodge looking really, really good tonight. Let's see if we can hear from him.
Yeah, let's get him in the booth here. Hey, Rye Jones, this is Ellis and Chris up in the Slingshot broadcast booth. You got a copy, brother?
Yeah, man, what's up?
Nothing much. We're just watching your Keith Bouchard car running real well out there right now in the 10th place. Before we get to the racing action, we just want to ask you if you have any thoughts on Keith, anything you would like to say?
You know, the thing I love about Keith the most, and what I'm going to miss about him the most, was that he didn't care about where he finished. He just enjoyed being with us. He enjoyed being with his friends, with his teammates. Fun fact, what I learned from Chris Hone was that 10 years ago, when Payday Racing was first formed, it was Chris, Justin Wilson, and Keith. And, you know, so he's definitely kind of one of the originals. And so we just got to thank him and appreciate him, and we're going to miss him.
Yeah, absolutely. We keep on hearing what a great teammate and a great friend Keith was. So let's talk about the racing action just a little bit right now. You are running in 10th. How's that car handling? You started in 11th, so you picked up a spot. What's the car doing right now?
For me right now, it's getting a little tight in 3 and 4, and I'm just trying to roll the corner in 1 and 2. I think I started off a little too slow because I fell too far back. I ended up falling back actually at like 16th, and so I've slowly had to try and work my way back up, and so now I'm just trying to take it a little easier in 3 and 4 because that's where I'm kind of burning them up a little bit. But hopefully it can be there in the end.
Awesome, man. We'll let you get back to the office, and we appreciate you dropping in with us for a minute.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, so let's put Ryan back in. Give me just a second, Ryan.
Yeah, and he's right now in a battle right now with Austin Greer just ahead in the 9th spot and Justin Gann. So nice little battle going on right here for the 9th spot. Austin Greer way up the track right there in 3 and 4. Running back down the hill. Ryan's going to see if he can grab that spot away from the 45. Austin Greer's got himself a nice little Jimmy Johnson throwback tonight to the
I like that.
Yeah, the 45 and the 43, or you know the 3, the 43, and the 48 combination. I think that's really cool looking.
Yeah, man, and what's not cool looking is the situation that's brewing right now between these 3 guys with Justin Gann able to kind of fill in the hole there with the 45 and 7 running next to each other, and I can imagine looks like that 45 car Austin Greer is struggling a little bit right now.
Yeah, he looks really tight. He looks really tight in the center of the corner. It looks like he's he might have burned up a little bit too much right front, and he just can't quite get back in the throttle as quick as these other guys can.
Yeah, absolutely. And Austin ended up started 14th, so he's up 3 spots as he is going to lose another one of those right now as he gives up that position to Justin Gann in the 10th slot. And they're going to tuck it right back in single file. Just looking through the field right now, the biggest action right now I'm seeing on the track is the battle for third going on between Bailey Dutton and Aaron Smith in the number 1. He's going to look underneath Bailey Dutton there, see if he can make a move to gain that third position. And this is something we're talking about early on the race right now. We're looking at lap times from the leaders. Aaron Smith ran a 32.3 that last time by, and that was the fastest lap on the track. So it's exactly what we thought. Aaron Smith gave up some of those positions early after starting on the pole, saving tires, and now as we are on lap 38 of this 133 lap race and really probably a 60 lap fuel run, he is working his way back up to the front. So we've got some comers and goers, and that's kind of what we expected. This 26 car is really, really struggling. I'm glad I'm not in this race car with Bailey Dutton right now because he is having a hard time with these tires, Chris.
Yeah, he tried to make a move back around Aaron, and I think that was a situation right there where he really wound up hurting himself more than what he probably needed to. He tried to dive back to the inside of Aaron. Probably just needed to get in line and ride, and it caused him to push up underneath him, and he might be about ready to lose another spot, but he's going to battle back here on the outside.
Yeah. Going to carry that momentum off the corner.
Yeah, what I'm noticing, what I'm seeing right now is it looks like to me that the top 3 are quite a bit quicker than everybody else right now, like on long run pace. Aaron Smith, we were talking about him. We were looking at him. He's the defending Cup champion, obviously. But Johnny Rapp is also really, really fast right now. They're sort of matching pace. And Tony Hilbrand's is as well. They're all really close to each other as Evan Pienta is still trying to get around Bailey Dutton. I'd be curious to see if Evan can make this pass, if he can clear the 26. What kind of pace does Evan have? Evan looked like he really pushed up there in the center of 3 and 4.
Yeah, this is going to hurt those 26 tires even more, I'd imagine. Longer way around the track, putting a little bit more pressure on those tires and getting them a little bit hotter and eating them up just a little bit more with that speed that he's carrying off the corner. Obviously, the benefit of that is carrying the speed off the corner, but the downside of that is you're eating up those tires just a little bit faster, something that 26 of Bailey Dutton is struggling with already. So looking through the rest of the field right now as we continue to watch that battle for the 4th position, seeing if we've got any other battles going on the track right now. The 30 car Justin Gann just got by Brady Powers for the 9th position. We've got a battle going on between Randy Bechtel and Austin Greer. Not much of a battle anymore. Looks like Bechtel's going to make that pass.
Contact!
Contact.
Evan Pienta's around, and it looked like to me that I don't want to speculate right now.
Wall.
Yeah, I don't want to speculate right now, but it looked like it might have been a situation where the 26 might have bounced off the wall and down into Evan. See if we can go back and take a look at this.
You are right. Just on my quick look, you are exactly right about what just happened.
Yeah, and Evan is sliding up right here, and it just might be a situation where Bailey just might want to concede this spot right here and just get back in line. And he tries to stay there on the outside. He's racing hard, scrubs the wall, gets a little bit loose, comes down into Evan. Evan, unfortunately, gets...
got the worst end of that.
He got the worst of it. I'm not sure how much damage Bailey gets here. Looks like he's just going to tag it just a little bit. But unfortunately for Evan, he's going to take a lot of damage here in this deal.
That's probably going to end his night head on into the wall there for the 0-0 of Evan Pienta. So we hate to see that, but what it's going to do is it's going to bring these drivers to pit road on lap 43. And I know a lot of these guys, including Bailey Sutton, who helped bring out that caution, are going to be glad to see this stop because it's going to give them opportunity to get fresh tires as we see the leaders pull into their pits. Johnny Rapp, Patrick Colby, Chris Pierce. We see Bailey Dutton pulling in. as well. And that's going to reset them. We're on lap 44. We know that a fuel window is 60 laps or so. So if we're just running the math here, Chris, if we're looking at pit strategy, it looks like Tony Hilbrun's is going to maintain the lead, but it looks like Johnny Rapp is going to lose that second spot to Aaron Smith off of pit road as all these drivers make their pit stops. It looks like, if I had to guess, this is going to put us on a pit stop around, if we go green, it's going to put us on a pit stop maybe around 104, which will leave about 29 laps left in this race, which is about half of a fuel run. So are you thinking about it that way if you're a driver at this point? Or are you kind of plotting out the rest of the race if it were to run green?
Yeah, I think so. This middle stretch right here, when you put your second set of, or you get off of your first set of tires and you move to your second set. This is the one where I try to think about, this is the one I'm going to stretch the longest. This is the one I'm going to try to go the farthest on. On the initial start, that's the time where you're probably going to run into more cautions, and at the end you're going to run into more cautions. Middle stretch of the race, historically, you're going to have a little bit more green flag racing.
Yeah, so we'll be on the lookout for that here as we got a couple laps for these cars to get settled in. Did the lights come off on the pace car that time? It looks like they might have.
We're going green.
Going green here in about a lap. Right before we do that, I want to thank all the viewers for watching right now. In the chat, let us know what driver you are rooting for, who's going to win, what number or what name. But I also want to briefly talk about how you can help our channel. You can follow us simply by clicking the follow button right underneath the video screen that you're probably watching right now. And additionally, you can subscribe on Twitch. And we've got some benefits for subscribers. You get to watch every race, no ads, and I know a lot of people will like that. We've got some custom badges that you'll get depending on what level of subscription you have. And also, we're doing a monthly giveaway where we're giving away a piece of Slingshot merch each month to our subscribers. We'll draw one lucky subscriber to win. This month, we're giving away this awesome-looking Slingshot baseball hat. And one thing I will note, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free monthly subscription that you can just send our way. You might not even be using it right now. So, we appreciate y'all watching, and let's go racing. Pace car is going to be coming out of turn 4, and he will pull off and let Aaron Smith and Tony Hilbrun's lead them back to the green flag as we come up to lap 46 here.
Yeah, and Tony Hilbrun's the control car taking the outside lane right here. I wonder if we're going to see some teammates working together.
There we go. Aaron Smith does not get quite as good a start as Tony Hilbrun's that control car. And I think you are right. Both of these drivers driving for Yellow Vision Racing. I think Aaron probably let Tony get out in front there, and he's going to tuck up right behind. But right now, we've got a battle going on for third between the 25 of Chris Pierce and the 52 of Johnny Rapp. We'll see if that outside line, how it does on new tires. Look at Johnny driving in hard there.
That was close. That was really close.
An aggressive move for Johnny Rapp. He is a man on a mission tonight, folks, racing for his payday teammate Keith Bouchard. We're looking back in 5th and 6th place right now. We've got some good racing going on there between Justin Gann. Chris Pierce losing some spots early. He's going to try to tuck back down in front of that 9 of Patrick Colby. We got a crash behind him. Huge crash.
Lots of cars involved.
94's in it. Looking at some other cars here. 94's in it. Brady Powers. 22 was in it. Monty Sprague of the 3. Chris Blassie in that 15. Let's see who else we've got that I can see.
It's like Austin Greer in the 45 was involved. The first one I saw around, it was either the 94 or the 99. It was one of the Rhett Tucker Racing Mopar entries. Saw one of them turned around, and it's like the track just became blocked.
100% blocked, and that was not far back from the lead. So looks like.
See if we can go back here and see. Oh, it was
looks
the 99.
Like the 45 might have turned the 99. Yeah, the 99 left a little bit the bottom lane open, but that 45, he just drove it in hard, and you can see he turned the 99. I'd imagine Rhett is not going to be happy about that.
And it was just a big stack up.
Yep, big stack up. That 45 car was just carrying more speed, and this is going to take several drivers and put them in the line for repair. And this is one of the things we talk about. DW, Darrell Waltrip says it all the time, used to say it all the time on those Fox broadcasts. Chris, cautions breed what?
Cautions. Every single
Cautions.
time.
Man, unfortunate timing for this first-time chatter. JF Greer 63 was rooting on the 45 car, who helped, or at least was part of bringing out this most recent caution. So I don't know how much damage Austin got on that. Just looking at the replay right now with everyone else. He's definitely going to get some damage. Yeah, he gets caught in that stack up. So lots of good cars taken out with this. Now, are we going to see any cars pit? Other the cars who are fixing their damage, at least.
You know, if you're at the end of the line, you might be looking to possibly, top off on fuel here. I'm going to go back here. We're going to see if we can see a good look from Andrew McGronagall's perspective. He was right behind this. You might see some guys towards the end of the line do it. Oh, we did see Rhett Tucker blink out. I wonder if that might have had something to do with it. And it's just a big stack up. Andrew got run over from behind by somebody else, and it's nothing anybody's doing intentionally. It's just
No, that was something we saw last week with some netcode issues for Rhett Tucker with connections. So that might be something he's going to have to address, and it might just been that Austin really maybe had lost track of that car into the corner. And maybe that was happening for a couple laps before that, and it makes it hard to predict.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him come back. You saw him come back on our end here in the broadcast, but it's hard to say if he came back that quickly from Austin's perspective. You never know. So that's an unfortunate deal. I hate that so many people got tore up. That's probably other than the wreck that we had at Bristol, that's one of the biggest wrecks that we've had this season here in the Cup Series.
It really is. Yeah, our races have run really clean, but you're going to have wrecks. That happens. With this latest crash on lap 48, these drivers are still making their way around the track. Now, Chris Pierce, one thing I wanted to ask was Chris Pierce involved in that last crash? Because I did notice that Chris, in that 25 car, came down pit road. So this is going to be interesting. I wonder
I don't think he
came down pit road.
I don't think he was involved, but I do think that he had a little bit of trouble on that restart. I think that Chris is thinking long term tonight. I think he's thinking long runs, and I think that he was trying to everybody around him was going a little bit harder than what he wanted to go. I think on that start he lost some spots, and so he's using this as probably an opportunity to just try to get ahead on the fuel game.
Yeah, I think you are absolutely right. The long game is what some of these guys are thinking about. The question is, what is Tony Hilbrun's thinking about? I can't get a read on it because he started back in 7th. He pushed that car up real hard to first place, but he's been able to stay there. So we're going to see what he does as the control car on this restart. Pace car is off. Hilbrun's is going to lead him to the green. He's going to jump out in front of his Yellow Vision teammate, Aaron Smith. Maybe Aaron's going to let him in here. He does. Johnny Rapp into 3rd position. Rye Jones all the way up to 4th position after starting 11th, up 7 spots on the night. He's going to see if he can channel that outside line speed into a pass for 3rd place on his Payday Racing teammate of Johnny Rapp, and it looks like he is. He's going to channel that into a pass for 2nd place as they come down in here into turn 3. Ryan Jones in a lap moves up 2 positions into 2nd place. He is going after this lead, and man, I can't say it enough. These Payday guys are on a mission tonight, Chris. They want to win it bad.
Yeah, they're racing hard tonight. They're not conserving anything. They're going all out trying to get that checkered flag tonight.
Absolutely, and behind those guys, the field is single file, but we got a pass looking like Patrick Colby in 6th place is going for that 5th spot on the 30. He's going to hold tight on that for just a minute. This is close quarters racing, and like we saw on lap 48, you misjudge a car's speed into the corner and can cause some problems for you pretty early as this battle for the lead really heating up for a minute between Tony Hilbrun's and Rye Jones. Rye's going to slip back in about 0.2 of a second. We'll see if he's going to be able to keep Tony Hilbrun's in his windshield. Right now we do have a pass going on between Bailey Dutton and Patrick Colby. Not sure who's making the pass here. Looks like the 9 of Patrick Colby is going to keep that position as he uses that outside line to carry that speed off the corner as they come into turn 1.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see on this run right here, if, we saw Bailey doesn't have a little bit of trouble with Evan Pienta. What does Bailey do on this run? Is he going to try to maybe conserve a little bit more? We saw his car really pushing up at the end of that long stint. Is he going to try to save a little bit more and then attack, or is he going to bank on the short run game tonight?
Yeah, that is, I think, been the most fascinating part of this race tonight so far as we cross over on lap 55. The different approaches, the different mentalities, which is something we've seen all season really. Tonight, it feels a little bit more palpable. It feels a little bit different where the strategies are almost diametrically opposed. Are you just going all out? Are you saving? Are you just basically saving those tires as long as possible? Speaking of big movers in the race, Lee Campbell, after starting in the 13th position, is up to 9th. As I say that, I put the jinx on
Tagged
him.
the wall. He tagged the wall.
Man, every time I talk about a driver, something bad happens to him. I'm sorry about that, Lee, but he's going to hang on to the 10th position here. Sonic's going to have to cool down for just a minute before he ramps back up, see if he can gain any gold coins and pass that 25 car back for 9th place. He's had some decent speed tonight. Lee Campbell's fastest lap is a 31.3, and that is not far off what some of these leaders are doing. So great job for Lee Campbell out there tonight in that 14 Sonic the Hedgehog car. Just looking through the rest of the field real quick. This battle right now, 7th, 8th, and 9th, is tight. Randy Bechtel kind of judging up this 26 of Bailey Dutton. Randy probably knows Bailey was caught up in this earlier incident between Pienta, so he's probably going to take it easy, kind of assess. But with that, he's going to allow that 25 of Chris Pierce to draw right back up to that back bumper. And while we were talking about that, Ry Jones in trouble on the front straightaway. He goes through the chicane on the oval. Our leader in trouble on laps 58. Not sure what happened to Ry. We're going to see if we can get a replay of this.
Oh, it just stepped. He was trying to paint. He was trying to run the paint in 3 and 4. There's some speed to be had there. It'll help you turn just a little bit, and I think he just got a little bit greedy. Luckily, this is all turf right here, so it's a nice, easy ride through the infield grass, and he's able to keep on rolling.
Yeah, great save. I'm sure those tires are probably not pleased with the ride right now, but man, I'm afraid to say anything about these drivers anymore because every time I bring them up, something bad happened. So I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night, everyone.
See ya. I was going to mention, Randy Bechtel and Chris Pierce in that deal got around Bailey Dutton. Randy looked really, really good behind Bailey there. It looked like he was really rolling the bottom nice, like he had really good rolling speed in the center of the corner, and that's exactly what you want here. That's what you want on a long run, that long speed pace. That's, you want to be able to have that rolling speed in the center of the corner, just digging the bottom, and that looked really good right there. See if he can do it again this time. Really, really he hits that paint nice in the middle of 1 and 2. See Patrick Colby just ahead of him. See if he can make up some ground here. See Chris Pierce also doing a really nice job hitting that paint. I think that's what Ry wanted to do. I think that he was just trying to run as sort of a shallow line, try to keep it as nice and tidy as possible. Randy's arc into the corner is a little bit later than Chris Pierce's, and I think that's what's causing him to, be able to get a little bit more speed on the exit of these corners. See, Chris Pierce hits the paint a little bit before Randy does. And I think that's kind of helping Randy get a run on Patrick Colby here.
If you are those guys, and I don't know if we're close enough to see what happened to Ry Jones. Are you nervous? If your car steps out a little bit, if you feel just a little bit of wiggle, you going to put it down there again if you're a driver in this situation, Chris?
Well, I think a lot of it is also the mentality that you have with this car. This car will bite you if you, a lot of cars like the truck that we race on Wednesday nights, it steps out, you can catch it fairly quickly. But this one right here, it will bite you in a hurry. And so I think that's just something that you have to keep in mind, when you try to do things like that. If this thing steps out on me, it's going to be hard for me to catch it. This car is already naturally hung out just a little bit anyway. If we ride on board, with Randy. We'll actually ride on board with Chris Pierce so we can get a good look at Randy. Look how far the left rear is out from the left front. It's further away from the line than the left front is. That's just how this car was set up. That's how this car was run in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. That's just how it was. It was a twisted car, and so
Twisted Sister, as they called it.
Yeah, and so that's just something that you got to keep in mind when you want to try to run that paint. But I don't blame Rye for doing what he did. I would. That's exactly how I would run this place too.
All right, while we're watching that, we have just seen a pass for the lead. 52, Johnny Rapp is at the top of the pylon right now as he makes that pass on Tony Hilbrun's. Aaron Smith in third, and Justin Gann worked his way back up to the fourth position. We're still not sure what happened to Justin on the start of this race.
I think it was an EOL for the incident at Bristol.
Okay, yeah, that is correct. Yeah. That is correct. Sam's got a better memory than I do, our race controller. Sam Maxwell doing a great job tonight for us. And right now up at the front, just to recap, your top 10. Johnny Rapp just assumed the lead. Tony Hilbrun's in second. Aaron Smith, our defending champion, who started on the pole, in third place. Justin Gann, after starting at the back with an EOL, is up to fourth place. Patrick Colby is in the fifth slot. Randy Bechtel in that 18 green machine in sixth. Chris Pierce in the 25, quietly marching his way to seventh. Bailey Dutton, eighth. Rhett Tucker, after having some trouble early on, has really gathered that thing back up, Chris. He was running a 32-1 last lap, which is in the zip code. Despite the damage he got, he's not that far off as he sits in ninth.
The nose is pushed in, and I think he's hurting on the straightaways a little bit by the looks of it. But he's keeping good enough pace in the corners, right? He might be all right. I don't know how much more damage is left to be fixed, but we'll have to keep an eye on Rhett here and see if he can get some more of that taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. So Rhett Tucker continues to kind of hang steady in 10th. He is struggling on that straightaway, like Chris mentioned. But behind him, the Sonic Machine. Lee Campbell sitting in 11th in that 14 car. Chris Blassie back with us this week is in 12th. Austin Greer, after being caught up early in a crash, is in 13th. Chase Berry in 14th. Did Chase Berry get a piece of that last big crash, Chris? Do you know?
I don't think he did, but I also would not be surprised if Chase Berry has not taken any tires yet. He might have.
No, I can confirm he has not taken tires because I'm looking at his stats right now. He's been on pit road once, but his pit time was 21 seconds compared to 38 seconds for the rest of the field.
Yeah, Chase is trying to pull a fast one on everybody tonight, and it could work.
He's pulling a Chase Berry. And, hey, while we have kind of I won't say a lull in the action because we got some hard racing going on around the track, I think this might be a good opportunity. Should we check in with Johnny Rapp?
Sure, we can check in with Johnny.
All right, let's see if I can get Johnny in the booth. Johnny Rapp, it's Ellison Chris in the Slingshot booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you. What's happening?
Nothing much. Hey, we're going to hit the pause button just for 1 second. And Chris, you can listen to this too. I think we're watching on Twitch right now, we are in a quick commercial break. So we are not coming through. So we're going to wait for just a second. Johnny, how's it going with you out there tonight before we come back from break?
Yeah, not too bad here. Trying to take care of these tires and still be fast. It's a little weird, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of grip in the track right now, so that helps.
Yeah, I'd imagine as the sun keeps on going down, it gets a little bit cooler and cooler. That's probably only going to help. So yeah, this commercial is going to be over in just a second.
It might not be a commercial for everybody too.
Yeah, it's not a commercial for everybody. We're back. Right now, we're checking in with our leader, Johnny Rapp, in that 52 Mission Barbecue Dodge, who is our leader, and he's running some fast laps after starting in third place. Hey, John, you're having a great run tonight. Before we talk about the action on the track, we want to just ask if you had anything you might want to say about your teammate, Keith Bouchard. I know you design, the special decal a lot of our drivers are running tonight.
Yeah, obviously it's a very unfortunate situation. We still don't even really know what happened to him, but yeah, we're definitely thinking about him and his family and friends. So, yep.
All right. Well, hey man, we've seen you kind of a different Johnny Rapp tonight. Normally you're slow, not slow as in like slow on the track, but you're cool, calm, and collected, kind of biding your time early in the race. But you went up front and raced hard tonight. What's kind of going on? What's the thought process there? Why are we seeing a different you tonight?
Because every time in the ARCA cars that I baby it never works out. So I figured I'm just going to go for it.
Hey man, well it's working out right now, and don't look too fast, but you got some guys coming up, closing in on you. So we're going to let you get back to the racing action, and hey, we appreciate you stopping in with us tonight.
Absolutely, thanks.
Thank you. So we'll move Johnny back over to his Payday Racing channel.
And while we were talking to Johnny, we had some pit stops happen. Chase Berry made a pit stop. First one of the night, I do believe. Or not his first pit stop, but I believe that's the first time he put tires on all night.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if he's going to like the way that strategy call worked out. I don't know. Taking tires under green is not always ideal if you've got the option to take them under yellow. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're definitely right. I think that he was kind of in the position that he was in. We'll have to, maybe we can chat with him after the race and sort of see what he was wanting to have happen. But yeah, he's right now he's the only car a lap down, so he does have a chance for the free pass here if this thing does continue to stay green here.
Yeah, we are on lap 76 of 133 here in the UD Awards Keith Bouchard Memorial 200 for the Apex Energy Cup Series. Lap 76, we are just over the halfway mark. And right now, we've got kind of an interesting battle shaping up here for second place between Aaron Smith and Justin Gann, who is rolling back up through the field. He's got a hot rod underneath him tonight as he chases down Johnny Rapp. And Justin is making use of that high line. Do you see any problems with that as this race goes on through this run, Chris?
Well, what I did see was Justin came up here and passed both Aaron Smith and Tony Hilbrun's, and, he did it pretty quickly. He got around both of them fairly quickly a few laps back before we were talking to Johnny. But what I see right now is I feel like that the pace is starting to work back in the favor of the Yellow Vision teammates right here of Aaron Smith and Tony Hilbrun's. I'm not sure if Justin had a few laps where maybe he punished his right front just a little bit. We'll see if maybe he can hold on to this third spot here, clear himself off of the 92, and get back down to the bottom here. They're still running really, really close together, but he ran up here and passed both of them, and I feel like Aaron... This is at the point of the run where Aaron is flipping the switch. I feel like this is where he's beginning to show just what type of pace he's got. He looks really, really good right there through 3 and 4. Really hugging that paint really nicely through 3 and 4. As Justin Gann did manage to get down in front of Tony Hilbrun's.
Yep, and as you mentioned it, last lap times, Aaron Smith in the 32.1s, everyone else in his vicinity in the 32.2s. So he's, right around a tenth of a second faster, and that is typical Aaron Smith fashion as the leaders kind of single file out here. We are 36 laps into this run for the top 6 cars. We talked about fuel run being somewhere around 60 laps for that fuel window, so we're probably about 24 laps away from seeing these guys come back onto pit road for what I'm imagining is going to be the final pit stop of the night if we run green. But as we've seen tonight, that is no guarantee. And these guys, this battle for third place is not dying down between Hilbrun's and Gann. And Gann in that 30 Kitty Cat car is not giving the 92 of Tony Hilbrun's much room. And he's going to see if I'm trying to make a crossover there. We're going to see what he does going down in here into turn 1. Going to take that high line. I noticed that the 30 car is looking like he's kind of diamonding the corner a little bit, carrying it up top and then bringing it down low.
Oh, we got a pass for the lead right here. Aaron Smith is going to clear Johnny Rapp off of turn 2. Yeah, so Aaron Smith is looking. Aaron Smith's looking really, really good here as this run continues on right here. And yeah, you know, talking about the 30 of Justin Gann, I feel like we're starting to see that when he was charging up through the field as quickly as he looked really, really good. Might have burned up the tires just a little bit as both the 1 and the 92 got around him, and both of them have kind of, set sail on him. As Tony Hilbrens is looking like he wants to try to challenge Johnny Rapp here for the second spot. Johnny might have went a little bit too soon as well, possibly.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Tony Hilbrens is a car that, we saw him march through the field early. He started in the 8th place, but man, Chris, he's charged up to the front, but he stayed there. He's the one guy that I've seen tonight that can have some early run speed, but you don't really see him lose that much over the course of the run as he is looking to the inside or taking a look to the inside of Johnny Rapp, who's given just a little bit of window there as they exit turn number 4 onto the front straightaway to take lap 85 in this Apex Energy Cup Series race from Charlotte. And yeah, we haven't really seen a driver get too far out. I think the earliest, probably a lap 30 or 40, Tony Hilbrens had a maybe under a second lead, but we haven't seen anyone get too far out, and that remains the case right now with Aaron Smith sitting in first place, but the battle at hand right behind him. All these top 5 drivers, they are within about a second of each other. So this is good. We're now, I'm trying to think, at least 20 laps into this run. I don't know if I can see that exact information, at least since the caution last came out.
We're sitting at about they've run a lot of laps on this tank of fuel. The top 5 guys. Some of those were caution laps, like you mentioned, but they're sitting at 42 laps right now.
Yeah, so we're about 18 laps from what we suspect is going to be the fuel window on 60 laps into this run. Right now, just making a run through the top 10, Aaron Smith in first place, Johnny Rapp in second.
Got a battle for second.
Yeah, we got a battle for second place. Tony Hilbrens on the inside. They're finally having the space to make that move, but to no avail because the 52 car is going to carry that speed off the corner on that outside line. And he's just not going to give the 52 car is not going to give Tony the room to make that pass as they make their way by a lap car of Monty Sprague. And that 3 who's going to defer to these guys. And I noticed that 26 car pushing a little bit. I think Johnny in that 52, you can't really notice it as much because he's kind of diamonding that corner just a little bit. But you can see that 52 pushing that nose ever so slightly. And he just can't get close enough to that 52 to really take advantage of any issues Johnny might be having. So we'll keep an eye on that battle. We'll also go through the top 10. Right now we said Aaron Smith at the top of the pylon, Johnny Rapp and Tony Hilbrens in second and third. Justin Gann, that Kitty Cat Coin cars in fourth place. Patrick Colby having a great run tonight. Patrick is a quick shout out to Patrick. He is hosting our Slingshot Racing Fantasy NASCAR League preview show on Twitch, which you can catch on Monday nights, right around 10 o'clock usually. And you can join our fantasy league as well. You can find information about that in the notes on Twitch. Randy Bechtel in sixth in that green machine. Chris Pierce, steady, consistent run in seventh place. Bailey Dutton in eighth after having some problems earlier with Evan Pienta. Ryan Jones in the ninth slot. Ryan led a lot of this race early on.
Charge complete.
But he had some trouble off of turn 4, but was able to collect it, and he's fought back into the top 10. Lee Campbell, can't say it enough, great run for Lee in the Sonic the Hedgehog car tonight, sitting with a nice top 10. Austin Greer in that Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, I guess Jimmy Johnson tribute scheme, sitting in 11th. Chris Blassie in the 15 car back in 12th. Then we saw Monty Sprague, 13th. Chase Berry, 14th. We've got 5 cars retired from this race right now. Pienta, Tucker, Powers, McGronigal, and Eric McMillan are all out of the race. As we cross over to lap 91 of 133 laps. Chris, we are getting to it here. These drivers are about maybe between 10 and 15 laps away from what we expect is going to be their final pit stop of the evening as we continue to watch this battle between Johnny Rapp and Tony Hilbrens. It's not going away. They're not going to let us talk about anything else for these next couple of laps.
And our first car hits pit lane right here. I was about to say, who's going to be the first one to try to make this pit stop here? It's not going to be Aaron Smith. It's not going to be Tony Hilbrens. It's not going to be these guys that have some pace right now at the end of this run. Those guys want to stretch this thing as long as they can. It's going to be Rye Jones. And honestly, I think this is probably the best move that he can make. We seen Rye have some speed earlier. He had cleared these guys for the lead. And, he had that unfortunate, spin. It wasn't really a spin because he saved it and made a nice save. But, I think that's a really good move for him to try to gain some ground because he's got some good pace tonight.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He doesn't have much to lose. If this race is to run green, he's definitely going to make up some spots right now at least. We'll see how that affects him later on in the race, but as we watch this battle for second place continue to go on between the 52 and the 92, they work their way by the lap car of Chris Blassie, and they're staying after it. These two guys are racing hard. Two guys that we don't see traditionally racing as aggressively as we've seen them tonight, really pushing it early and charging up towards the front. You can see the 92 of Tony Hilbrens, who is doing a great job with our Wednesday night Truck Series broadcast. Looking to the inside as they come through the trioval across the line onto lap 95. Tony Hilbrens going to try to make that move for second place. Look at that. He's going to close the deal after probably at least 20 laps of trying.
Yeah, I think Johnny conceded that spot in a turn one. He's like, all right, not another lap of side by side, not another lap of running up high. You take it. I got to get back to the bottom here. I got to cool my jets.
I think that's definitely the smart racer move. With about 39
Johnny's
laps
coming.
left. 52's headed to pit road.
Yeah.
Maybe talking on the radios with Rye Jones a little bit about what he's experiencing after making that pit stop pretty early.
Yeah, and you're going to see the 26 of Bailey Dutton follow Johnny down pit road. Obviously, these guys can make it to the end here, but the question is, if this thing goes green, how much are you giving up here? You're going to give up a lot more over the course of a long run. Obviously Johnny's probably going to come out of this thing with the lead. If I had to guess, he's going to have the speed here on this lap because I don't think Aaron's going to come this time, and I don't think Tony's going to come this time. I think they're going to try to maybe wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think right now we're watching Aaron running 32.6s. He's got at least probably 7 laps of gas left in the tank, and he's not showing. As soon as I say that, he's probably going to duck pit road. But as of this lap, he is still out on the track, as is Tony Hilbrens. So and I don't see any takers right now.
Yeah, and if you've got the long run pace that Aaron's got and that Tony's got, why would you pit? You're probably feeling really, really confident about yourself. You're probably feeling really, really confident about your chances here. I think that this is probably the smart move to stay out. I think that, Johnny is, I don't think that Johnny's move is a bad move, and I don't think Rye's, move is a bad move either. I just think it just represents the different positions that they're all in at this moment.
And with that, Lee Campbell in that 14 car also ducks onto pit road. Chris Blassie coming in as well. So some of those guys running deep inside the top 10 are making that choice to pit now. Keeping our eyes on the leaders, Aaron Smith and Tony Hilbrens, as they make their way down the backstretch on lap 99. I don't hear any lift in the throttle yet for Smith. I think these guys are probably good and willing to extend this run as far as they can on fuel.
Now here comes the third place car. Justin Gann's coming in. Justin Gann is, I think this is probably a good move on his part. I think that Justin was, it looked like to me his car was pushing really, really bad there.
Yeah.
I think he had gotten to a pretty nice place because I think that he had stopped giving up as much time as he was earlier. So I think that he really found his stride there as, he slid through the box just a little bit. That might be a situation where, just a break by a situation. Second place man is on pit road now.
Tony Hilbrun's 92 pulls her down pit road for what we believe is going to be the last stop. About 33 laps left in this race after we cross the 100 lap point. You were watching Tony Hilbrun's make his way down pit road. And if you're Aaron Smith, does this pretty much make your bed? You got to come in this time with those guys in second, third, and fourth coming in?
Yeah, I think Aaron will probably come in either this lap or the next. Starting to get more and more.
Here he comes. Leader is coming down pit road. Aaron Smith, lap 101. He was close.
Ooh, he was fast coming in right there. Of course, the pit lane, the speed cone is a little bit further down past the yellow barrels. So he did have a little bit more ground to gain, but he was driving it hard onto pit road there. Hopefully he doesn't have a speeding penalty. That puts the lead in the hands of the number 18, Randy Bechtel. Randy was running some pretty good laps there over the course of that run. We'll see how long Randy decides to stay out, as looks like he might be coming in this time himself.
Yeah, and I do not see any mentions of black flags for the one car, so he might be clear.
Yeah,
we're going to find out probably as a lap goes by whether or not he has to come down in for another stop. But Patrick Colby is going to assume the lead. Man, Ryan Jones is loose right in front of the battle for the lead between Chris Pierce, who's going to duck down to the inside to make this pass right now on Patrick Colby. We've got a new leader, Chris Pierce, to the lead as Patrick Colby ducks down to make his pit stop.
Yeah, that's a good move by Patrick Colby right there. Chris Pierce, I think he topped it off on that last caution that we had, so he can go a little bit further than these other guys around him. He's in the same position as far as tires go. Once everybody does make the pit stop, once everybody does come to pit road, I think that Johnny Rapp is going to be your effective race leader.
I think you're absolutely right. So this is going to set up a really kind of interesting situation. Rapp, who's going to be on older tires a little bit, seeing if he can hang on for the win. With Tony Hilbrun's probably right behind him with Aaron Smith. And you see Chris Pierce really struggling on the track right now with that older set of tires compared to the leader.
But keep on going. Go as long as you can here if you're Chris Pierce. Run it out. Go for that caution. Trap as many as you can a lap down, and you're going to be sitting on the best tires once it all comes out, and you will be the leader. So this is a good move. Well, he won't be the leader, but he will be on the lead lap. And right there, that was a really, really good... that was a good break for Aaron Smith and Tony Hilbrun's. No caution coming out. They were able to unlap themselves naturally.
Oh, Hilbrun's having some trouble off the turn 2. Started to jump in there. He's really loose.
Yeah, you're good. And I think that just speaks to he's trying to keep pace with the one car. He's trying to keep up with him because I think that he knows that's going to be the battle for the win. Because, Aaron and Tony are on the same tires here, close to the same tires. I think there's only a lap's difference between them. Rye Jones and Johnny Rapp in front of them are on much older tires. I think they feel confident that they're going to be able to get those guys. I think that Tony is recognizing the fact that I've got to keep up with this one car. I got to keep him within my sights if I want to have a shot at this.
Yep, so if we're looking at this average time... Oh, we got a crash on the speedway. Chris Pierce, who we were just talking about, our leader... And Bailey Dutton and the 18 are going to bring out the third caution of the night on lap 107. Man, let's see what happened here.
Yeah.
Looks like the 26 of Bailey Dutton was just... I don't know what happened there. I think maybe he did not know that Chris Pierce was maybe on old tires, and he really misjudged it coming into the corner. And that's going to take out not only him, it's going to take out... Chris Pierce is going to, I don't know if I think Randy was trying to avoid that crash in the 18.
Yeah, I don't know if, there's a big speed difference between, guys on old tires and guys on fresh tires. Chris Pierce also might have called out that he's coming to pit road there. I don't want to speculate because I don't have the whole story. Chris Pierce might have said that he was coming to pit lane, and maybe Bailey didn't get that message, or that might have just been the speed difference between them. See if we can go back and take a look at this again from another perspective.
Yeah, and I think the 18 just saw what was coming and did what he could do to avoid the wreck. He walks away with no damage. Dutton's going to automatically tow, and that's not what you want to see happen to your leader. But like you said, that can happen. Varying pit strategy, cars on old tires, cars on brand new tires. And man, this is going to put Johnny Rapp in the lead, Rye Jones in second, Aaron Smith in third, as we continue to watch the replay and get a better view of what exactly happened between that 25 and that 26 car.
Man, Chris Pierce, he wanted a caution badly. It would have worked out, and unfortunately, it was him. That's a bad break right there. We'll ride on board with Randy Bechtel here to see if we can see what Randy saw. Randy was sort of behind this whole deal. He spun. I think he spun to try to avoid the incident itself. Looks like he got down there on the flat, sort of like what we saw with Rye earlier. It's a little different situation here, but spins it, no harm, no foul. Everything's fine. Hopefully didn't punish the tires too badly on that spin, and keeps on rolling.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the tire data right now. I'm looking at the stints. And if we're just looking through the lineup, we've got Johnny Rapp in the lead on 13 lap old tires. Rye Jones on slightly older 17 lap tires. Aaron Smith, Tony Hilbrunz, and Justin Gann all sitting on 7, 8, and 9 lap old tires. So they're within the same region of each other. But one thing I'm very curious about here, Chris, is the 45 of Austin Greer. Did we know if he took tires on the last stop? I think he did, because his pit stop that last time by was 38 seconds. And he spent 14.7 seconds in the box. So unless that was to fix damage, this is shaping up to be interesting, because Austin Greer, that 45, is going to have tires that are just a little bit newer than everyone else. And Patrick Colby also sitting on 5 lap old tires. So we got some interesting storylines developing here. If you're joining us, we are 23 laps away from the finish at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Apex Energy Cup Series UD Awards, Keith Bouchard Memorial 200. And up at the front, we're going to have a battle, 20-lap shootout or so between Johnny Rapp, Rye Jones, Aaron Smith, Tony Hilbrunz, Justin Gann, Austin Greer. Chase Berry is on pretty old tires right now. So really, I think we've got, Chris, I think we got 5 or 6 cars that might have a shot to win this race. I don't know who is going to have the biggest upper hand here. I think if we're looking at tires, certainly Smith, Hilbrunz, and Gann are sitting in a pretty good position along with Austin Greer.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that Chase Berry, I think that Chase has an extra set of tires in the pits. I find it interesting that he did not come in that time to take them. Considering I think a lot of guys are done. See if he comes in this time. He's not coming in this time either. So unless there's something that maybe I've missed, which, it's, who are we kidding right here? I might have missed something. Wouldn't be the first time. But, I'm almost positive that Chase has an extra set of tires in the pits. And he's not taking them here. I think that maybe he's banking on another caution late in this thing.
I think he wants to let those leaders get some more age on those tires. We were talking about this restart coming with about 21, 22 laps to go. And hey, if you're in the chat right now, as we approach the backstretch, as we get ready for a restart, let us know who you think is going to take this one home. Out of the top 6 or 7, Johnny Rapp, Rye Jones, Tony Hilbrunz, Aaron Smith, Justin Gann, Austin Greer, maybe even Chase Berry with that wily pit strategy he's got cooking in that 5 payday racing car right now. So they're coming down the backstretch, and Johnny Rapp is going to be the control car, but Rye Jones, who led early on, who later spun, is back into the top 2. So he's going to be someone we're keeping an eye on. These guys are teammates. And on the row right behind them, teammates for Yellow Vision Racing, Tony Hilbrunz and Aaron Smith, followed by Justin Gann and Austin Greer as the pace car gets ready to pull off turn 4 into the pit road. Let's watch this restart. Johnny Rapp leads him down to the green. Top 5 or 6, 7 going to single file. Aaron Smith choosing a little bit different line, seeing if he can get some speed. And he is oh man, close battle for second place going on between Rye Jones and Aaron Smith. Rye Jones, I'm not sure if that was an aggressive move or if he was just a little bit loose off the corner, but right now, hanging on to second place. But Aaron Smith is going to channel that outside line run into a move for second place up top on the outside line. But Johnny Rapp is still in the lead. We are on lap 113.
Yeah, I think there might have been a little bit of communication right there to sort of orchestrate the start right there between the 52 and the 7. Right now, what you're seeing is just the difference in tire. As Justin Gann gets into the back of Rye Jones. Rye saves it, keeps it going. Justin Gann's loose off the corner. Justin's trying to keep
after it.
Yeah, Justin's trying to keep tabs, I think, on Aaron Smith because they're on closed tires, and Justin probably feels that if he can keep him close, he might have a shot at this thing.
Yeah, and Tony Hilbrun's was looking like he was marching through the field for a second, looking like he was going to try to go for third place, but I think that little moment between the 30 and the 7, or the 91, or the 7 rather, kind of gave him a little bit of pause as he slides back into 5th place. Justin Gann picks up that 3rd spot, and he is on the move. He's looking to see if he can go after a second win this year tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But up front, it's still all Johnny Rapp and Aaron Smith. We got about 18 laps to go in this race, so do not go anywhere.
Yeah, Aaron Smith I think that he's doing the really, really patient game right here. He's not just running up there and charging after Johnny Rapp. There's not a huge difference between the tires, especially after that caution either. So you don't have that huge speed difference. 6 laps is still, I think Aaron is still sitting with a, obvious advantage here on the tires, but he's not just running up there and taking it.
No, absolutely not. Hey, and just take a second to say thanks to first-time chatter DJ Chaotica. Says good luck tonight. Some of these guys are going to need some luck if they're going to hang on to this thing. And one of those guys who would be really looking for a lucky caution is Chase Berry, sitting back in 11th. I think we've seen him slip back a little bit after starting 7th tonight. He's going to need that caution. He is on old tires. He's about 7 laps away from needing actually about 17 laps away from needing a pit stop. So Chase is going to try to make it, but those tires are they are not doing it for that 5 car right now. Up front, though, Johnny Rapp and Aaron Smith, they are, as we watch on board of that 52 car, Aaron Smith is not letting Johnny Rapp get away with just about 16 laps to go. Johnny Rapp, Aaron Smith, Justin Gann. I think this is going to be the 3 guys that this race comes down to tonight unless we see another caution, Chris.
Yeah, I think so. And Aaron is taking a very, very shallow entry to the corners. Like I said, I think it's a very patient approach. It looks like to me that he just wants to inch up there. He doesn't want to charge up there. He doesn't want to put too much on it because, he is thinking about a late restart. He wants to have enough tires to be able to really push it on those. Look at Justin Gann back there in 3rd. He really drives it in on that high side on corner entry. Justin's trying to keep pace with Aaron, and he's trying to keep him in sight here. If these guys, if Aaron maybe stumbles a little bit trying to get around Johnny Rapp, Justin's going to be right there. And that might be part of the reason why we're not seeing the quick move. Obviously, Johnny's really fast tonight, but with the tire advantage that the 1 has, Aaron doesn't want to make a move that might possibly open him up to getting passed by the 30 if he can't complete the pass.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. With that 30 kind of lingering, loitering back behind these guys as we see Aaron Smith taking a look, but Johnny Rapp's going to close the door with that kind of interesting line he's running, but he's not going to be able to hold Smith as they come onto the front straightaway. Smith pulls up right next to that 52, and he's going to look to complete this pass. Question is Johnny going to hang on and make a run on that outside line, see if he can hang on to this lead with only 13 laps to go? Doesn't look like it. Might try to. Nah, he's not going to have the speed to make a crossover here. One thing I do want to point out is all of these top, really 5 drivers are running within. Last lap, they're running within 5/100ths of a second each other. They're pretty evenly matched. And hey, one guy I want to mention, it might be too late with 13 to go, but Tony Hilbrens is creeping back up into the picture in that 4th place. He ran a 31.4 the last lap. That was the fastest lap on the track beside Randy Bechtel.
Yeah, and
so
you know, with Aaron completing the pass as quickly as he did, I think that Justin Gann really wanted Johnny Rapp to race Aaron hard. He wanted him to be able to, you know, those guys stay side by side and make up more ground. They didn't, and, you know, Justin's going to have to get on it right here and get around the 52 if he wants a shot, but I don't know if he's got the right front tire to do it, as Tony Hilbrens is going to try to make the pass.
Yeah, and hey, Tony Hilbrens is now within, let's see, 6/10 of the leader, where that's going to be a number to keep an eye on. If he can get by this 30 car pretty quickly, we've got about 10 laps. That might be enough for Tony Hilbrens to really push it and see if he can make something of it. But we can see him pushing a little bit there, and that 30 car is really challenging him on the outside. So the longer these two guys battle, the harder time Hilbrens is going to have. But he stays within that 6/10 mark. And Johnny isn't too far back either.
Yeah, Johnny tagged the wall a little bit right there on corner entry, just trying to make it as wide as he can, trying to push the limits as much as he can. You know, we're getting down to it where you don't leave anything on the table. As Tony Hilbrens, Tony's been up here in the top 3 or 4 all night long. He's been up there. Johnny's been up there. Aaron Smith, Justin Gann. These have been like the top 4 guys for most of the night tonight. And I feel like Tony has some of the best long run pace out of everybody, except for maybe the one car.
He's in a position where he can finish the deal maybe down in 1 here, and it looks like he's going to try to pull up in front of the 30 car. And he's
that's close.
Close.
Oh, Justin's not going to.
They
made some contact. Yeah, that was, Justin really wanted to try to stay inside of Tony right there, and he pushed up just a little bit in 3 and 4, but Tony's going to clear him right here.
So with about 9 laps left, 8 laps at the line, Justin Gann and Tony Hilbrens battle for the 3rd position. That's going to put Tony about a second back. He definitely lost some time in that battle, but he's going to set his sights quickly on Johnny Rapp here for 2nd place. And I'm telling you, Chris, I don't know. I feel like this 92's got some speed that if he can get by the 52 car quickly within the next lap or so, I think we might be looking at a car that might be able to make a run here at Aaron Smith in the lead for the win.
Yeah, just looking at the last laps right there. Tony's really, really quick, and he's gonna get a fender on Johnny, and Johnny's got to not necessarily concede the spot, but he's got to give him the space there, and I just don't think with the tire difference here that he's gonna be able to hold him off, as Hilbrens is gonna make the pass. That's the difference between about 5 or 6 lap fresher tires on the 92. And let's see, with completing that pass, see, Tony was about a 10th slower, but like I said, that's with completing a pass. This lap right here will be a little bit more accurate of a gauge right here. It's going to be tough sledding. It's going to be hard to do. But we'll get a better sense of it here as they come by the line.
I think the battle box might be a helpful friend right now, giving us a little bit of an idea of what we might see in these closing 5 laps or so.
Yeah, and this time by, Hilbrens ran a 94. Yeah, just a little bit slower. Not much slower. Just a little bit slower than Aaron Smith. He's got to gain. I mean, right now we're sitting at the point of the run. 5 laps to go here. He's got to gain about 2/10 a lap. And that's asking a lot.
I think the 92 car used up those tires battling the 52, and particularly the 30. A couple laps before that, Johnny Rapp and Justin Gann. So I do think that he's going to really have to make something happen, and it's looking like he's losing even more ground right now. Lead stretched out to about a second and 2/10 or so.
Yeah.
As it continues to grow. So right now we're looking at a situation with 4 laps to go. Aaron Smith just looking to run consistent laps, but we could always have a caution come out.
Yeah, Tony Hilbrun's is faster than everybody else on the track, except for the one car, and that's
the one he wants to be faster than.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I know it is, because he's had a really great race tonight, and Aaron's had a really great race, and we'll sort of see how this thing shapes up. One guy that is moving up through the field very quickly, back behind these guys, back behind the top 3. It's actually the number 18 of Randy Bechtel. Randy has closed up on the back bumper of Justin Gann right here. And Randy's also running some really good laps here, and see if he can complete the pass on the 30.
Yeah, Randy trying to claw back those positions that he lost in that crash about 30 laps ago or so. And right now, he is coming up on that kitty cat coin car.
Yeah.
So he's going to see if he can bring that green machine back into 4th place.
Randy was running the bottom all night. Now it's time to let it all hang out. And he's doing everything he can to generate a run, including running that high side.
So Aaron Smith coming to take the white flag here in the UD Awards. Keith Bouchard Memorial 200 Apex Energy Cup Series at Charlotte. He's just going to hang on for one more lap. He's got Tony Hilbrun's chasing, but Tony does not have enough tonight, followed by Johnny Rapp, who led a good portion of this race. Aaron Smith started out not great, barely making it into the race at Daytona and taking last place points, but he has been anything but last place as this season has gone on. In race number 5, the number 1 car is number 1 2 weeks in a row, this time at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Aaron Smith is your winner tonight, followed by Tony Hilbrun's in second, and Johnny Rapp in third. We got a battle between Justin Gann and Randy Bechtel, and I believe I'm showing that Justin got the better of that battle at the line. Patrick Coley brings home a 9th, 6th place finish, and Austin Greer 7th. Man, great finish. Kind of calmed down for those few laps, but up until those last 5 or 6 laps, I think anyone had a shot to win. Hey, DJ Chaotica says, nice win, Aaron Smith. Good run, Johnny Rapp. And hey, we know who it is now. It's Shane Bradshaw from the Truck Series. So, Shane, we appreciate you watching tonight.
Yeah,
we watched
absolutely.
Aaron Smith's burnout on the front straightaway. We are going to pull these guys into the voice channel. We're going to get some post-race interviews after this quite exciting race. Once again, saw tire strategy kind of be the focal point tonight.
Oh, the teammates run into each other on the front stretch. Nice touch right there.
All right, so we're going to see if we can pull Johnny Rapp into the booth real quick. Johnny Rapp, Ellis, and Chris up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so second time we're hearing from you. First time we heard from you, you were in the lead. Unfortunately, it's not the same case this time. You had a great finish, still in third place. Talk to us about those final laps. We saw some intense side-by-side racing going on in those final 10 or 15 laps or so.
Yeah, I wish I would have raced Aaron harder. I figured, let him go out there. I'll try to save a little something, and it was just not working. But
yeah, we saw you pushing hard, and man, it's hard to keep up with that one car on tire strategy and saving those tires. So don't beat yourself up too hard about that.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. It was still a blast, though. I mean, all the racing we had with him and Tony, and I forget the green car that was up there earlier too. But yeah,
Oh, Bailey Dutton, or are you talking about your teammate Randy Bechtel?
I think I would have remembered that. Yeah, Bailey.
Okay, yeah, that was you guys put on a showcase tonight. Hey, good job, good finish. You got any shout outs you want to throw out there before we let you go?
Well, I believe my dad's watching, so shout out to him. Shout out to all the payday guys, and you guys putting the show on the usual,
Awesome. Well, hey, we appreciate you, and go out there and celebrate.
Absolutely.
Thanks, sir. All right, so that was your third place finisher, Johnny Rapp, and shout out to his dad for watching, by the way. I believe that's Johnny Rapp Sr., maybe. We'll bring in Tony Hilbrun's our second place finisher next, and Chris will see what Tony saw on the track tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony Hilbrins, this is Chris Smith and Ellis Thomas in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
10-4, how are you guys?
Man, we're doing real good. We had a great time watching you tonight. It seems like you were up there in the mix all night. Talk us through sort of your viewpoint of how the night went. It seemed like you had really good both short run pace and long run pace tonight.
Yeah, well, I got a new setup for my computer today, so I was trying to get everything sorted, and I just barely got in for qualifying, and I did not put it on a good lap, so I had to start 8th. So I was kind of angry, and I drove my way to the front as quickly as possible. And I just tried to stay there. Car felt good. I was able to manage the tires pretty well. It seemed like some people couldn't. It just... That last restart, though, I just didn't get a good enough restart, and I had to fight too hard with a couple of guys before I could get up to second, and by then Aaron just had too big of a lead, and I couldn't get him.
Yeah, we were watching your lap times right there, and it just seemed like, you guys were sort of neck and neck, really, really close on speeds. But like you said, just had to get through the traffic, and by that time he was about a second in front of you. But hey, you had a great run all night. You were up in the mix all night with everybody, and you put on a really, really good show. Any shout outs that you want to give before we let you get out of here tonight?
Yeah, everybody who watches these races, because obviously you guys won't be broadcasted if there's no one to broadcast to. You guys are putting on the league and the broadcast. Everybody at Yellow Vision. Aaron obviously got the win. Patrick had a good run. I think something happened towards the end there and he lost a few spots. We got second. That's about it.
Awesome,
All right,
man. Shout out to you for broadcast our Wednesday truck race, which
Yeah.
people can catch tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Time.
Yeah, it should be a good show with you guys out there tomorrow night.
Hey, we're going to try. Thanks, bud.
Yep, have a good one, guys.
You too. All right, so you heard from Tony Hilbrins, our second place finisher, and for the second time this season, or is this the third time? This is Aaron Smith's third win of the season, Chris, am I right?
I believe so.
All right, we're going to pull him into the broadcast booth and see what he has to say. Aaron Smith, Ellis Thomas, Chris Smith up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I've got you.
All right, so Mr. Smith went to Charlotte and pulled off his third victory of the season. Talk to us about the tire strategy, because we knew better. We knew better tonight, man. Last time at Bristol, I think we thought you were in trouble, but we knew tonight exactly what you were doing, saving those tires early on. Talk to us about how you managed those tires over the course of the race and kind of the strategy in the closing set of cautions.
Well, in the first green flag run of the race leading up to the first set of pit stops, I saved a lot. I let about 5 or 6 cars pass me there after I hit the wall on the front stretch, but I was able to drive through them and get up to third place. And I had about 9% on the right front over the leader at the time. But after that, I ran him a little bit too hard there in the second run, and I ended up with about 10% less than everyone else. So I made sure to kind of find that happy medium there in that last run. Unfortunately, it worked out for me.
Good deal. Yeah, that was you become the master, and you've also now collected 2 $25 paychecks in our first 2 Crown Jewel races. I think you got a target on your back. I think you've always had one, but people aren't going to like that you're taking their money. I know we got a couple guys in the series who are running these races just for that $25 paycheck, so watch out.
Yeah, I'll be looking out for them. There were a lot of guys that could have won this race tonight, but fortunately it all worked out in my favor.
Yeah, man, we were talking about it towards the end at that final caution with about 20 to go. There were about, 6 guys running similar lap times in the first few laps after the restart. So y'all put on a good show tonight. You got any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go on and celebrate?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone at the Slingshot Racing League for putting this show on, and I'd like to offer my condolences to the friends and family of Keith Bouchard, and I'm sorry for their loss. And I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I'm looking forward to getting back at it next week.
Awesome, sorry, Aaron. We appreciate you. And go out there and celebrate. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so you heard from our top 3 finishers there in the UD Awards Keith Bouchard Memorial 200 here from Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Apex Energy Cup Series. And we want to quickly thank all of our partners that work hard to help bring you this live racing action every week and make a great series and community for our drivers. Obviously, Apex Energy, great product, focus, clarity, stamina, all promoted by their products. Also, Sim Racing Tech, Sim Racing Hardware. If you're looking to upgrade your rig, check them out. Evan Pienta Designs. UD Awards, who make our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trophy that we're going to award to one driver at the end of this Apex Energy Cup Series. And all of our fans who watch, we appreciate you all for tuning in. Chris, any last thoughts on this race and whether it produced what we thought it was going to produce tonight?
Oh yeah, I think it produced exactly what we thought. We saw some differing ideas on the strategy. Chase Berry, I think that obviously looking back, maybe he wanted to come to pit road on that last stop to have the freshest tires, but he was banking on that caution. If it would have come, everybody else would have been in trouble. But, Aaron Smith, he had the confidence to wait for a really, really long time on that green flag run, and it paid off for him. He had the freshest tires of all of those guys up near the front at the end of this thing, and he came away with yet another victory tonight.
Absolutely. Tire strategy, tire strategy, tire strategy. It's what our drivers love and what at the same time in slingshot racing. So we are headed next week to the short track at Indianapolis Raceway Park. I believe it's now Lucas Oil Raceway Park, but it's been through several name iterations, but we all know it as IRP. It's going to be a much different race. Short track, beating and banging. Not that we didn't see any of that tonight, but that's going to be something we can look forward to. Bit of a change of pace for these guys, where tire strategy will still be important, but there's a lot more factors that they're going to have to take into account next week. And you catch that race live 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday night next week. But hey, if you want more racing, you can catch us tomorrow night with the Apex Energy Truck Series, taking on the same track, Charlotte. But let me tell you, Chris, it's going to be a bit of a different race than the one I think we saw tonight. Tire strategy is going to be important, but are we going to see some drafting going on tomorrow night as these drivers maybe have a little bit more opportunity to stay in the throttle, at least for the better part of the run?
Yeah, you'll definitely see some drafting at the beginning of a run. You'll definitely see the trucks running close together at the beginning of the run. But I think as the run goes on, you will start to see some separation. It won't be as tight and as close as it was at a place like, Auto Club and Michigan, like we raced at earlier. You can still get some separation in the truck, but it does take a little bit longer than what you saw here tonight in the Apex Energy Cup Series.
Awesome. Well, we will look forward to that. You can catch that race tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time. Tony Hilbrun's and Ryan O'Hare will be broadcasting. And hey, we just want to shout out to everyone who showed up tonight. You can see the session results on the board right now, 1st through 15th. Some guys finishing a few laps down there had some unfortunate troubles early in the race, and this probably caused some shakeup in the points, but Aaron Smith is going to stay on top of those points. One name that we are missing tonight, Monty Sprague, wasn't able to make the race. Not Monty Sprague, Scott Sobzak in the 81 car, not able to make the race tonight. We'll hope to see him back next week. And again, as we mentioned throughout the broadcast, we are thinking about the family and friends of Keith Bouchard, who we lost this week, and we'll keep him in our thoughts and prayers, as well as his family. And thank you for watching tonight, folks. Everyone, stay safe and have a good evening. How do we get these one-of-a-kind amazing trophies? Well, we were fortunate to find UD Awards when we started our league. We reached out and we connected with Christopher, and we got started designing these one-of-a-kind works of art. The process was easy from start to finish. After just a few revisions, we finalized each one of them, and the team at UD got to work building each trophy from scratch. They're a small team, but they've got the ability to do just about anything your brain can imagine. And don't worry, if you're not an artist, they've got an entire catalog of unique trophies in pretty much any material you can imagine. Wood, acrylic, glass, and in the case of last season's trophy, metal. The best part, they're affordable. If you're looking for a trophy for your event or league, the choice is simple. UD Awards can give you exactly what you want.
Are you looking for high-quality, affordable sim racing paint schemes and graphics? Then look no further than Evan at Evan Pienta Designs. Driven by speed, Evan Pienta Designs offers a multitude of sim racing graphics, from liveries to social media graphics to team and series logos. To see some of the work done by Evan, or even race one of the public liveries he's made, head on over to tradingpaints.com and search Evan Pienta.